So let's travel back in time. Tell me about the moment you said, I need to see the world. How did it was you were in California, right?
Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles originally.
Los Angeles, exactly.
And I always knew just American culture never fit with how I view the world. American, it's extreme capitalism. It's money and your career over everything. And especially being in Los Angeles, right? There's two kinds of people in Los Angeles. There are people from LA, and there's people who move from all across the country to be in LA. I didn't like the culture because it felt very superficial, very transactional. And my opinion about Los Angeles, I feel like there's some demon energy in the air because when people go there, it feels like you kind of have to sell your soul to be successful. And I was just not happy with my life there. I knew I always wanted to go to Latin America because I always wanted to learn Spanish from a young age. I knew I was going to make that happen. And when I was 25, I moved to Colombia for that. And I was just not happy with my life there. I always thought that there was something more, something better. And when I turned 25, before I turned 25, I went on a Europe trip. I saw a bunch of countries. I met a few people that sold all of their things and just booked a one-way ticket to Europe or New Zealand or wherever. And I thought to myself, why couldn't I do that as well? So the origin story was my time in LA was, I look back at it with mixed feelings because that was my childhood, but I had a very rocky relationship with my family, particularly my dad growing up. And I just felt trapped, right? The Los Angeles lifestyle, everything's super expensive. You need a car to survive, and trying to make it as a creative, unless you're really, really good at making a lot of money, you're barely surviving. And I just didn't feel like it was for me. So after a really big fight with my dad, I decided, you know what am I doing here? We had the argument and I told him, you know what, just give me a month. And then I decided to sell all my things and book a one-way ticket to Colombia. And that was 5 years ago.
Wow, that's kind of inspiring.
Yeah.
Why Colombia specifically?
Okay, so the long story is that I wanted to learn Spanish. And the best accents for learning Spanish are either Mexican Spanish or Colombian Spanish. So I remember during that 1 month where I was trying to prep everything, I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. And then I applied to be a cruise pianist. And I got accepted to do a gig on, I think it was Royal Caribbean or Princess. And they said they were going to place me in March or April. And I was like, okay, amazing. So I had that lined up and I sold all my things. And then one morning I woke up and I found a one-way ticket to Colombia for like $180. And I was like, I think that was my sign from God. So I booked it and then I started selling my things. And then I went to Colombia and I was having a good time. I was learning Spanish. I learned very quickly. But then after a couple months, COVID happened. And then so I lost my contract for the cruise. And then I was stuck in Colombia. And I was like, well, what am I going to do now? And then I decided, you know what, I might as well just stay here. And that's when I started my YouTube channel.
So how did Poland came to the picture?
So when I was in Colombia, I was on a Reddit forum talking about my experience here. And then I had a friend who also was in Poland at the time. And we actually made a video together just talking about the differences and what it was like and the overall culture, how our Asians treated. So it was always in the back of my mind. And also because as an American, we're allowed to stay here without a visa.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to live in Europe for a bit. I'm going to go check out Poland. And initially it was for 6 months. But then after 3 months, I was like, I like it here. So I'm just going to stay. And then now I'm applying for my residency. And now I'm planning on staying.
We share the same destiny. So what year was this exactly?
That I came to Poland?
Yeah. I mean, when you had the idea of Poland, you decided to come to Poland.
That's a good question. I think while I was in Asia, I was enjoying my time there, but I realized Asia is fun, but it's not a place where I can grow. It's more of a vacation spot. Because I like Thailand, Vietnam, I didn't like Philippines that much, even though my family's from there. And I could live a good life there, but I didn't like the lifestyle. Like Thailand's cool, but it's a lot of passport bros, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And Vietnam was actually a really good time as well. And it's a bunch of people that look like me, share a similar culture. I like Viet culture a lot.
I see.
But there's no room for growth there. Not a lot of people speak English. So if you want to be a content creator and network with other people, you can only really do it with the other expats, right?
True that.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what about Europe? And Poland was just, all right, I'm going to go check out Poland. Why not?
But why Poland first? I mean, for an American, I know the Americans, they kind of dream of Paris.
Oh, I've already seen it. I've already seen
you
those
already
places.
did.
Yeah.
So
I told you before I went to Colombia. I did a Europe trip. I did 12 countries in 6 weeks.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So I saw a lot of Western Europe. The only place that I would have considered living in, maybe Spain. because I speak Spanish.
That's true.
Switzerland was nice, but super expensive.
Oh yeah, tell me about
And
it.
then I went to Edinburgh as well, and I really like Scotland. Edinburgh is
Scotland, the nature is beautiful there.
oh my God,
out
very
there.
nice. Tap water is
Like
great.
Game of Thrones,
Bro, for real.
lifestyle.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I'm understanding this now. I see. Because I like when you said when you look like a bunch of people in a similar place, there is no growth.
Yes.
And this is one of the reasons I actually decided to stay in Poland. Because when I arrived, I was like, oh, this is because I actually I'm a dinosaur because I arrived here the first time in 2008.
Yes.
So what do you see now in Poland? You haven't seen Poland, son.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
It was a beautiful. It's still beautiful. So tell me. You're like, all right, I'm going to go check out Poland, and somehow you decided to go to Krakow?
Yes. Because
Why?
in general, I don't like big cities. I always like the second city.
tier, yeah.
So, for example, when I was in Colombia, I went to Medellin first. Too big of a city, so I moved to a smaller city, Manizales. When I was in Thailand, I didn't like Bangkok. I went to Chiang Mai, the second big city. When I was in Vietnam, I didn't like Saigon, but Da Nang I liked a lot. So I saw a pattern, and I decided to try it out. But I've been in Krakow for about almost a year and a half, like a year now, and I'm planning on leaving in June and coming to Warsaw because of networking, and Krakow has become too small for me. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So you arrived to Krakow, and here you are. Like, I'm going to do my videos, going to do
Yes.
my art, going to do my thing. Walk me through these first days.
Sure, yeah. So originally, I was just making videos about like being a digital nomad. And I actually had a point where I was debating about quitting YouTube. I think it was around April or March of last year. And I sat down with one of my best friends who I met through my channel. He's a successful guy from the Caribbean. Rashid, you're a great man. I love you, man. And we just talked about my channel. And he followed my channel for years, so he also watches my videos.
Content, yeah.
And we were just talking about the future. I was like, should I get a regular job, maybe get into recruitment, team leading, because that's what I'm good at. And he's like, well, you've been doing YouTube for 4 years, but what if you made 3 videos a week for a year? And I was like, I don't know if I can do that. It's a lot of work. But he's like, why don't you just try it? Maybe try it for 3 months, see what happens. And I was like, okay, you know what? Sure, bet, why not? And we were breaking down like what audience you want to target. And I picked 3 audiences. I was like, I can target Asian guys looking to travel. I can target digital nomads, or I can target Poland as a country. And he said, which audience is the biggest? And I was like, Poland. So he's like, why don't you try that? And I said, okay, bet. And then so I started making a bunch of videos about Poland, 3 videos a week. And then a month and a half in, I had my first viral video. And that's when my channel really started taking off. And that was in around June of last year. Yeah.
I see. And then they're like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
Well, interesting that you mentioned the YouTube topic because you know the YouTube culture, especially here in Poland and especially the foreigners. And we are guilty of it as well here.
Yes, I know what you're going to say. Yeah. Uh-huh.
We are guilty of it. And everyone is praising Poland. Poland is this. And so where is this coming from?
Where's the praise coming from, or my style, or
In like, I want to do it in general and then narrow down to you. So
Okay,
there is
yeah.
the general. We are here, all of us.
yes,
Glazing Poland,
Okay.
incredible.
yeah.
And because I'm not sure about you, because we do get the occasional comments saying, stop promoting Poland.
yeah.
We don't want immigrants here.
Right.
They're going to come. They're going to destroy. We don't want to become as friends. in
And I
Germany."
think it's a fair criticism.
It is
actually.
very fair. I understand the fear, where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But we are not the enemy. It is, I talk about Poland because I'm paying respect to Poland.
That is true.
It is
Right.
something I just want to do it creatively.
Yeah, and to be fair, your style of content as well is attracting a higher caliber of person.
Exactly.
My buddy and I were talking about this earlier, that Poland is nice because they attract immigrants, but it's a lot of high-skill immigrants.
True.
Right? And so the people, you have to be here for a reason. You have to have a work visa. If you don't, they're going to kick you out.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
exactly.
this is the perfect system. I really like how Polish people
Yeah.
run their immigration system, actually. But to your original question, okay, so
Is it just, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah.
Because what I don't like, and sorry, I'm talking maybe a lot here. What I don't like, because some creators, it does look like it's just fake.
Yes.
It is not true, and it's just for the views.
Yes.
And this what I don't want. That's why you have the other people saying, hey, stop promoting Poland.
Yes.
Because we could see it's fake.
Yes. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but Polish people are insecure. What do I mean by that? They are starving for any foreign country or foreigners to talk well about their country because they've been seen as like second class in the UK, for example, or in Western Europe for so long. So anytime foreigner says Poland is good, all the YouTube audience flocks and like gives it a bunch of views and a bunch of likes, and yeah, Poland was mentioned. And this is something that I noticed, right? Like there's this chip on the shoulder of the country and the Polish people that, I know where it comes from. They're very smart, incredibly hardworking, but they're always seen as kind of like Europe's little brother, you see? So that's why this insecurity comes from. That's why a lot of people are trying to take advantage of it by glazing up Poland. But as you say, I know a lot of people are just doing it for the views. Because I do like reaction content on my channel. I did a reaction to a lot of Polish music. And it makes sense for me because I'm a musician.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I see that.
But I see other people who would make that content and it's so boring. You watch it and they're just like,
I know.
oh my God, I love Poland. And it's like, get the F out of here. It's not
That's
genuine.
what I mean.
Right? And a lot of people are taking advantage of this. Hey, both of us are taking advantage of it as well, right? But I always knew like, okay, we can ride this trend, but I want to make videos that are better than everybody else and provides a unique perspective. So I try to ride the trend by following those topics, but then I make it interesting because for the music react videos, I'm a musician, so I break down the music from a musical standpoint, and then I also try to explain, oh, this instrument here, this is why they did that. And then I thought about also doing like covers of Polish music in the future. That's something I want to explore. And then when it comes to speaking about the country, I have equally as many positive as negative videos on my channel. And something I found is that Polish people really respect when you can, it doesn't matter if you complain or say negative things about the country. If you can do it, articulate it in a way that's thought-provoking and smart and there's logic behind it, you get their respect. And I think that's why my channel has been able to stand out compared to all the other foreigners here.
No, I mean, because when I'm subscribed to your channel, obviously, so I do see your videos, but whenever I'm seeing one, I see the recommended ones, and it's pretty much the same. Yeah, 13 things to never do in Poland.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. And then when I click on it, I'm just like, it's just, hey, get your bag. I'm a content creator.
Yes.
You guys do it, but please don't fake it, guys. That's why I appreciate and respect your work, because
Thank you.
You are very raw and honest, and you say the things as they are.
Yeah.
So back, we are here in Poland, so we're speaking about Poland. So what are the things that you actually notice as an American or Asian American that makes the Polish people so unique from your perspective?
There's a lot of things. I respect how hardworking they are. I respect their strong family values. I respect that they put their country first. I'm American, and I'm glad that Trump won, because now it seems like people respect America again after right? And he's like America first, and I'm like, that's great. And Poland, they think the same. They're very protective of their culture. They have a very strong stance against refugees and all this illegal immigration, right? And they have a strong adherence to the rules. And I think also how their social norms are very similar to Asians and East Asians, like just mind your own business, don't bother anybody, keep quiet in public, just respect your neighbor, be helpful. People are kind of cold here, but they're not mean. They're kind people. They just have a hard exterior, right? And as an Asian person, these are all traits that I'm very familiar with. So there's a lot of Asians here in Poland, and Asians are very well respected and appreciated here in this country, which I love. And out of all the countries in the world, Poland is one of the least corrupt countries as well. And it's
politically, you mean?
Yes, but also the system. For example, Ukraine is a very corrupt country, unfortunately. And I've heard, like in Serbia, they also don't trust the government. I have friends who have friends in government. They say that in other places you can buy your way to an appointment. You can buy a passport, money, you can buy anything. But here in Poland, no, you can't. You have to go by the rules and do it the way everybody else does it. And I think that's really awesome, and I think that the adherence to the rules reflects in the culture, you can see it walking around in the streets. You feel super safe here because people follow the rules, and people, and I also like that men are men here. For example, you can't hit a woman here. If you're in public and you hit a woman, the Polish guys will go and defend her. And that level of chivalry is really amazing. And I also like how the country really values long-term relationships. You can see, like, I have friends, men and women who date Polish men and women, and all of them are very happily in their relationships. And the Polish people usually come from two-parent households as well. So it's just like a nice, generally healthy family system here. So there's a lot of really good things to admire about this country. And the more you learn about it and their history and the language, the more you appreciate it too.
So would you say these are the things that made you stay in Poland? Because I'm just going to guess here, when you said I'm going to check out Poland, what was your thinking? It's like, okay, I can stay here for a while.
Yeah, well, I liked Krakow because like location-wise, it's very well located. It's like right in the middle of Europe. I like Budapest a lot. I visited Budapest. It's nice to visit, but not to live. And
But why?
what?
In Budapest, for example.
I think the government is not quite stable right now, and I think Poland's connection has a stronger connection with America than Hungary does. And I have a lot of friends here, so and Poland is nice. A lot of people speak English. I don't know. It's just
It's just a feeling,
Yeah, it's just a vibe. It's just a
I
vibe.
can't explain it either,
Yeah,
And
right.
the problem is that Polish people, they don't
See it.
accept this answer. It's like, hey, I don't know why I'm here, which is, for me, I'm a little bit spiritual. I just put it in the account of spirituality. Because I like to say that home is not a place, but it's a feeling.
It's a feeling, totally.
And
Yeah.
when you feel home, you just stay.
Right,
That's home.
right.
Well, there you have it, guys. If you stayed till the end, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. If you would like to learn more or discover more, you can click right here on this video to enjoy more authentic and honest stories. Thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to seeing you soon.